don't normally do. I don't think I've ever done a favourites before. If I have, I apologise. This would be my favourites for January 2020. Okay, so first I'm going to start with food, and I don't have a lot, just 2 things that are new, foods that I've been really enjoying. One's a drink actually. This strawberry black tea, which I have my tea loose leaf. This is it. And if you can see there, it's just strawberry black tea. Dried strawberries in it. Oh, it's so good. I've got some now, and I also wanted to mention my witchy mug. So my new pentagram mug I've been loving. Strawberry tea inside, if you can see. I think you're probably supposed to drink this tea black, but if I can put soy milk in something, I'm gonna put freaking soy milk in something. I've got a problem. Like, it probably tastes fine black, but in my head it's like it needs soy milk because I have soy milk with my plain black tea, and I'm sure you probably would prefer this just plain without milk, but this is the way I have it. I don't add any sugar or anything to tea. I just add archive syrup to my coffee, but I don't need anything sweet in my tea. Sweet enough, thanks. So this mug is also one of my favourites, which I picked up in Glastonbury with my friend Steph. And then the next food item that was my favourite, and literally it's more towards the end or early February. Since I found this food, I have been obsessed, and it is, let me just check the name, yeah, Applewood. It's this vegan cheese that's by a brand called Applewood. It is literally so delicious. I have it melted, so I've been having like melted cheese on toast. I like melted cheese on toast with Marmite, melted cheese on toast with vegan ham. Yeah, like, I'm that person that annoys all the meat eaters because they're like,
why are you vegan if you're still gonna eat stuff that looks and tastes like animal products?
well, I like that stuff before and I like that stuff now. I just prefer it vegan, and that's that. Like, I'm not super health freak. I wish I was. I'm working on it. I'm gonna get there, like whole foods, organic. I want to get there, but right now I'm loving this vegan cheese. I will put a little clip in now because it's meant to be kept in the fridge and I didn't want to bring it into my bedroom and stuff, have it all smelling like cheese in here. No thanks, but I will show you that. Okay, so this is the cheese that I was talking about, it's delicious. So I just grate it. Comes in a block, and I just grate it up and it melts so good. Like, look at that picture. Oh my god, it melts so good. And honestly, it's just as good as the real stuff, if not better. Like, I haven't had real cheese in 6 years, so I can't really remember, but from what I remember, this stuff is as good, if not better. So highly recommend, even for my non-vegans. And I picked this up from Asda in the UK. I'm not sure if you're not in the UK where else you can get it, but if you are in the UK, head down to Asda, baby. That's everything I have for food. So moving on to books. Okay, so first of all, I mostly have been reading a book that I'm not gonna talk about because it's pretty much, it's embarrassing because I don't want to expose myself. I expose myself enough on here, especially because of the kind of fantasy books that I'm into. So I will just leave that there, but I'm currently, like, I've just started book 4 in a series that I've been reading for less than a week, I think. So 4 books in less than a week. Yeah, I've been pretty busy with that series, but other than that series, before that, I didn't read a lot. So yeah, I didn't read really. If you can hear the storm outside, the banging of the window and the wind, I'm so sorry. It's like a flipping hurricane out there, and it's actually driving me quite crazy because I hate that banging sound constantly. But anyway, as I didn't read a lot, and obviously I've been reading this fantasy stuff, which I'm not going to bother going into, I'll say what I've bought on my Kindle or Audible. I've bought 3 books that I'm planning on reading this month, so I'll just mention those because I'm not probably going to do another favourites for a while, so I don't really plan on doing favourites every month because I don't get through, you know, I'm such a basic witch. I don't get through lots of stuff to be showing you every month. I'm not trying to be a minimalist, but come on, like, I'm not trying to be a hoarder either. That strawberry tea is mwah. There's 3 books that I have already bought on my apps, so I will be hopefully reading them this month if I can pull myself away from this other fantasy series. But I bought the Waking Up by Sam Harris, which I believe is a book about meditation. I've not started it already. I've heard it being recommended a couple of times. I had it on my list for a while of books I want to get, so I finally got that, Waking Up by Sam Harris, and I believe it's to do with meditation. I think it's like in a story form. I hope it is anyway, because I prefer like story books to you know, the average kind of self-help book where it's just, you know, if I'm going to sit down and read something, prefer it to be a story. The next one is a real classic, and I can't really believe that I've not read it yet, so I finally brought it just so I can flip in, read that and just know that I've read that, because it's been a classic that I've wanted to read for so long, which is of course Fingerprints of the Gods by Graham Hancock. The last book that I bought last month was The Institute by Stephen King. Again, a lot of good reviews on The Institute. Of course, Stephen King, you know, chances are it's likely going to be a well-written book. So as much as I'm not into scary stuff, I don't know why I was really drawn to read this book. A few people recommended it, and I think the last person I saw recommend it actually was Casper from Boy Divine, and I just thought, that's it, I'm just going to buy the fucking book now because I've heard it being mentioned enough times, so, you know.
I got sucked into the hype.
Last but not least, we have the witchy things. So what were my favourite witchy things this month? Well,
Decks.
my favourite deck, of course, would be the Light Seers deck. If you was watching my 31 Days of Tarot, you know that I actually picked this up in January, so I couldn't really speak about it much, although I was naughty and I did speak about it, even though I brought it in 2020. I've been really enjoying working with this deck. It's so vibrant, modern. I love it. And yeah, so that's definitely been my favourite deck. I've been using it a lot. What I will say, okay, so I love this deck. I love the art. The cardstock is pretty damn good. I don't understand this cardstock because it feels so thin, yeah? But it feels thinner than most decks. But when you actually measure it up against other decks, it looks like it's much thicker. In this deck, which is really thick cardstock, like, it looks thicker than it, yeah? But these cards are so much thicker than these flimsy things. Like, it's the most confusing thing. This deck is another good example. Like, look at the difference. Same amount of cards. Seems like there's so many more cards in the Light Seers, yeah? Or like these are really thick cards. No. I feel like these cards are thicker. But obviously these are thicker, but I can't put my finger on it. I love this card. The other thing with this card is that this deck is, I feel like I have a curse on the deck for me of some kind, not anything to do with the readings, but it wants to be damaged. So First thing was, I bought this deck, and then my friend Steph, who you know on my other videos, she's got a channel now, so go find her. Basically, I bought this deck, and then the day it arrived, she looked at it and ordered herself the deck for the next day. So we both pretty much got this deck at exactly the same time, and we always was pulling the cards at work and everything, yeah? I don't want to lose that card. And then she's always dropping her cards as well, so we're both as clumsy as each other, but she, I would say, dropped her cards a lot more than me. And she had lost this card at work, yeah, and one of our colleagues found it and said, oh, I found this card. Steph wasn't in, and I knew it was Steph's, but I was like, oh yeah, that's so important, like, you know, you need all your cards in your deck. I said, I'll hold on to that. I put it in my apron, carried on with working all day, and I'd been bending down and it was in my apron in the front of my legs here, so it bent. If you can see, can you see that bend? Yeah, look at that. And you're probably thinking, but that's Steph's card. Of course, I kept the card after I bent it. I'm not going to give her the bent card that I bent, you know. So you can't tell too bad, can you? You can see it's there. It's annoying though. You know, you can see it's there. And then the Seven of Pentacles, when I was obviously doing readings at my altar here, it must have fell down under my desk chair. It's like on wheels, and this got like on the carpet with the wheel on top, so it was like a wheel embedded into the card on top of a carpet. Can you imagine? So it like scrunched it up because it's a thick like rug. So this one isn't as damaged as this one, but it's got like weird dents in it from being under the wheels. Like, it's really, this one's quite hard to tell, I guess, but it's like, I know what it's been through, and that's all that matters. Like, I know it's damaged. So whether anyone else can tell, I don't care, I know. That's what I mean by cursed. It's just, it flies away a lot. Like when you shuffle, especially because like the way, look, that's given me 1, 2, 3, 4 cards have flipped out from that shuffle. And the way that I do readings is I want 1 card at a time, just like that. So that would be my card 1. The Hierophant, that's my card. But very rarely do they come out 1 at a time like that. That was like lucky that it did it now. Now I'm trying to show you how it never does that. It doesn't. But it will often flip out a lot more cards than I want. So again, it's doing 1. What the fuck? It never does this. Normally it gives me like 5 at a time, and now it's just flipping out 1 at a time. Alright, I get it. But then it gave me 2. Then it gave me 2. The Chariot, Strength, the Hierophant. Fucking hell. It gave me 4 major arcanas. Like today, I already pulled myself 3 major arcanas. Like, what is going on today? Something's getting revealed. But it's not like I'm doing a reading or anything. But it's interesting, isn't it? Rambled on enough, I think, about the Light Seers deck. But yeah, I love this deck. It's awesome. My favourite spread for January. I don't do spreads too often, to be honest, but I have been getting more into them lately. And I would say the one that really stuck out to me from January that I did was this Dumping Doubts and Fears one. And this is from the Tarot Bible by Sarah Bartlett. Dumping Doubts and Fears, and it's a 7-card spread, yeah. 7-card spread. It's a nice little number for a spread, 7 cards. And yeah, it just works really well. And so for
1, it's me now. 2, what I'm denying. 3, what I'm repressing. 4, what I'm projecting. 5, what I'm compensating for. 6, what will help me overcome my doubts. And 7, what will help me overcome my fears.
Another one I did just want to point out that I did which I just thought was quite funny. I'm gonna say this book's got some really good spreads in it. I know like this is such a basic bitch book, but it's got good spreads, better than most of these sorts of books. The spreads are pretty good, and I love the name of this spread. Like, tell me you don't love the name of this spread. What am I doing with my life? Come on. What else do you need? What am I doing with my life? And I enjoy this spread a lot.
Ah, we will enjoy it.
It's a 6-card spread.
It's 1, me now, 2, what I'm afraid of, 3, past influences that were beneficial, 4, past influences that were negative, 5, I promised myself this, and 6, this will be the result.
Cool. So yeah. So I was going to do jewellery. I very, very rarely ever buy jewellery. I only really like to have real silver because I think I have an allergic reaction to like costume jewellery, or I think most people do, where you get like green marks and stuff and it's really itchy and stuff. So that's why I'm always wearing these earrings and always wearing these same rings all the time. But I treated myself to 2 new necklaces and one that I'm wearing now. So I bought these because they're by an artist that I wanted to support. So if you just have a look, so pretty. And these are handmade and like cleansed and everything by a beautiful lady called Ruby Dulce, and I think I'm saying her name right, Ruby Dulce or Ruby Dulce, I'm not sure. She's got a company called Sacred Joules and she makes these one-off little pieces on her store that's just recently opened back up. I like to support people who do. She works for one of my favourite companies, which is CETV, like favourite media companies, I mean, so they're sort of media they put out is super conscious. CETV or Collective Evolution they're called, but because I watch most of their video stuff, so it's on, they have a platform called CETV, and this lady who created this jewellery, Ruby Dulce, she has her own TV show on CETV. Yeah, highly recommend CETV. My favourite show on there is called Elevate. So anyway, back to the jewellery. This was the other one, and this is the rose quartz like point that I got, and they come on these cute silver chains and I just love them. I love that one. This one is my favourite. But yeah, they're really cute. If you like the look of those, go check out. I know that she recently put up a load more in her shop and I need to stop looking at them because I want them all, and then I cannot be spending money on that. I believe that's everything I have for this favourites. I hope you enjoyed. Thank you so much for joining me on this video, and yeah, if you would like more tarot or witchy related content from me, defo subscribe and leave a comment. I love hearing from you. Let me know what your favourites were from January, and I hope to see you in the next